my thoughts on Reason. Yeah, they did a good thing by adding VST support, but the thing is they're a day late, dollar short. Hey, this is Brian from Logic Pro Hacks. How's it going? Well, everything's all up in a craze these days because Reason, Propellerheads, Reason, did something kind of crazy. And they actually added VST support. So, yeah. And I decided to buy it. And I made some cool sounds in it. Yeah, I'll just get a play through a little bit. Here you go. Made a little cool groovy guitar sound. That's what you're hearing right now. It's made out of one of these racks here. And that is the thump. Made that thump out of redrum. And the rest of that is like a distorted guitar synth sound that I made. So it's kind of cool. There are some things in here that I don't really care for. One of them being that the MIDI editor, and my dog is barking again out there. I'm not going to cut out and edit like I used to. So you're just going to get me in the raw today. So if I say a curse word, you're just going to get it. So fuck that. See, these videos are so damn hard to do because there's so many distractions. I was saying that one of the things I don't really care for is the MIDI editor. It still kind of sucks compared to Logic. I mean, they made a lot of improvements, but the one thing I don't really like about it is, here, let's go ahead and I'll show you. Like, I can use the command key to scroll up and down like that, and then I can use the shift key and the command key to do this. Alright, that's cool. Alright, Apple had that, and you use the little scroll mouse wheel at the same time. But like, say like if I'm in this MIDI and I want to edit notes here, but I also want to use this as a reference while I edit notes in here, you can't do that. And so that kind of ticks me off. And there's no real way to look at both of them at the same time. In Logic, you can do that real easy. You just highlight both of them and you double click on them and it shows you notes for both of them. So that's kind of cool. And the other thing that annoys the crap out of me, and that really annoys me because I do a lot of MIDI editing. And the other thing is, like, when you're in here, one of the things, like, I'll go ahead and I'll say, like, alright, I want to move this note up, you know, an octave, which is 12 semitones. Well, all I would have to do is just hold the Alt and Shift key and then hit my arrow up and down. Or, I think that's it. Well, you can't do that here. You have to go in here, you actually got to type it in and go, alright, +1, 2, and then hit enter. Then I'll do that. Good. So, yeah, it's a little annoying, but it's something to get used to. So, back to what I was talking about on the rack here. I want to show you something cool. Let's go ahead and just solo this guy out here in the mixer. This guy's cool. Let's go ahead and just solo him. And let's go back in the rack. So we gotta find this pluck saw. Pluck. Killer pluck. Alright, right here. So check this out. I'm using 14, I believe. Yeah, 14. So we go in the back and see how it's all filled in right there. Yeah, that's cool. Check that out. Now, as you know, the subtractor only has a mono output. See? Only one out. So, but I'm still getting this cool stereo effect that's going on. And how I did that is I just went 1, 2, hooked every single one up to its own channel in this little internal mixer. And then inside the internal mixer, I have all of these. Look at this one, pan left and right. See how they're both pan? This is pan, this is pan. Hard left, hard right. All the way down. Check that. And then I decided not to use these. I was I was just getting I really wanted like a really wide sound, so that's why I just kind of cut out some from the middle here. You can see I cut the right side there, and then the left side over on that side, and then I could probably add these guys back in, but I was still getting the sound I wanted. So you could probably do this with not so many subtractors if you wanted to. But what's cool is I then got the programmer. Go in here and program it, and I went in and I just programmed the attack, decay, sustain, release up in here. So that way, getting all crazy there. Like if I do the sustain, see how it's moving up here. See, that's kind of cool. So it's doing that. Now, what does it sound like? All right, let's just go and just play it. That's another thing that's goofy about the Reason. Like if I want to go ahead and just edit the MIDI, I can actually have the MIDI open up in its own window, and I can actually edit the MIDI while I'm looking at the sequencer at the same time. You can't do this in here. I don't know why. And I really don't like that. It really bugs me. So, am I going to move to Reason? No. I'm not giving up Logic. It's just the MIDI. The Logic and the MIDI editor in Logic just rocks. If you're really into doing a lot of cool things in MIDI, Reason will just annoy the fuck out of you. Okay, so yeah. All right, moving on. So where was I? Yeah, we're gonna find a part here. Okay, let's just go right here. Let's play it. Now, look what happens when I change the... Yeah, I forgot to tell you. Each subtractor is tuned differently. You can see I got 30 cents here. And then this one is 30 cents, but they're both left and right. Now check this out. This next one, 20 cents. That one's going to repeat. 10 cents. And then this one, 0. But then we go down the other side, it's going to go in the negative. And then it goes all the way down to minus 30 on the other side. So this, in a way, is kind of like a massive synthesizer, but with like, 14 oscillator waves or whatever you want to call it. So it sounds really cool when you do this crap. And it's always fun. And then when I lift up the middle, like so, and then we play it again, sounds like so. So yeah, it kind of messes with the field there, kind of doesn't make it sound so wide when you bring up the middle side here. I'm tired. God, what do I even do this? So, and then this is made inside a combinator. So we'll take a look at the back here and I'll show you the combinator. So this is how it's routed. It's basically routed into the mixer channel, and then from the combinator it goes into a maximizer, because I'm basically maximizing the F out of it right now. And you can see I'm just kind of not really, because I'm basically using this as a limiter, keep it from peaking, because I got so much sound coming out of this thing. And so that's why you got the limiter in there. And then you got all these guys just going all crazy inside the mixer. And on the mixer is left and right. So that's kind of cool. It's a neat pluck sound that you can make. So that's that. And what's this? The killer pads. All right, so the killer pads is sort of the same thing. But I add a little bit more effects. And so we go on over here. Same deal. Hooked up the same way. But this time, instead of a maximizer, I got the amp and the Audiomatic. I really like this thing. This is really cool. It actually sounds just as good as a Waves plugin. I probably would suspect that they're using something from Waves when they made this, or Waves helped them make this thing, because it really has that Waves plugin sound when you start messing with this thing. That's just my hunch. I don't know. I'm just guessing there. And this amp. And then when we do a pad sound, let's go ahead and unsell that and go to the pad. That's what it sounds like. And we go to the pad. Yeah, here's the pad sound. Check this out. This sounds so cool. And then I forgot to tell you, yeah, you get hear that grittiness on the pad. That's because I got distortion running in distortion, and it sounds really cool. It's kind of like a Dirty Saw pad sound, something like that. Let me go in here. So pretty much the same setup as before, but I changed the attack, release, and decay so that you get more of a pad sound when you program it that way. So those are the two cool things I made. And on the Audiomatic, I'm running the tape thing. I'm jacking it up really hard too. So yeah, it's kind of cool. You know, my thoughts on Reason. Yeah, they did a good thing by adding VSD support. But the thing is they're a day late, dollar short, and that's my honest opinion. I think the program, is it really worth the $300 and some odd dollars or $400 that you would spend on it? Yeah, I would say so, because you do get quite an awesome set of stuff to use. I really like the Echo and this Audiomatic and the Softude and the combinators. And so what I'll end up doing is just piping them in and doing like a rewire with Logic with this. I just can't stand the MIDI editor. It just annoys me really bad. So, you know, that's my impression on 9.5. Oh yeah, the pulverizer. This thing is awesome. And you know, there's some pretty good sounds in this thing. I like it because it's a different sound that you would get from the normal Logic Pro, and it's cool. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do more with integration with this and Logic coming up. So let me know what you guys think, and after that, I'm going to just go ahead and just end that way. I'm just going to make this video short. And if you have any more questions about this setup, I'm actually going to go ahead and put this Reason project. I'll try to do it this weekend and post it up on my Logic Pro Hack site. And if you guys want it, you know, you can throw me some money and pay me for my work, then yeah, sure, you can have it. All right, guys. Without further ado, remember, my friends, stay groovy.